Welcome back to Kiwoon. I'm Caleb, and today we'll be doing a stock analysis on Mosaic. They are a Fortune 500 company based out of Tampa, Florida that creates phosphate and potash fertilizer. And a few months ago, we just got news that China, the world's largest producer of phosphate, stated that they will stop exporting phosphorus for any means of commercial use. And in today's video, I'll be breaking down Mosaic's business model and going over why it may become one of the largest players in the game when it comes down to fertilizer over the next few years. Now let's get right into it. So, what does Mosaic do? They produce and distribute millions of tons of high-quality potash and phosphates products each year. These are both used in fertilizers, and without them, the world's crop yields would be cut in half. Farmers around the world would need to keep their soils healthy, and they need to nourish their crops and maximize their yields. Mosaic's business model is based off of these three main points: phosphates, potash, and international distribution. And the reason why I believe Mosaic has such large potential upside is due to their market share and fundamentals as a company. And as we can see over here, Mosaic currently has a 23.54% of the market share in phosphate and currently 4% or just under 4% in potash. There's another company called CVR Energy over here that actually holds over 30% of the phosphate market share. But when you look at their revenue and fundamentals, it looks pretty bad. Their ticker is CVI or CVI Energy, and historically, CVR has not been profitable over the past 4 years. According to Simply Wall Street, we also see that they are over 88% overvalued with a current price target of $11.81, even though their current stock price is just over $22 a share. However, when we look at Mosaic's, we see that Mosaic actually has some really good numbers in terms of their health and their valuation. When we go down here, we see that their current valuation is that they're 25% undervalued. And we actually do need to check over some of their fundamental plays. So when we go down, we see that their price to earnings ratio is currently at 9.1. This is extremely good because we want to be looking for a PDE ratio of anywhere between 0 and 20, and 9.1 is right within that range and under their actual market and industry sector average. And then we go to their price to earnings to growth ratio. This is actually the only ratio that is negative or in the red for them, and this is because their PEG ratio is negative. This is because their potential earnings in the future are calculated to actually go down in percentage points, but because of the fact that China and Russia are actually cutting off supply for exporting to other countries in fertilizer of potash and phosphorus, this has a lot to do with the fact that their price to earnings to growth ratio may be negative now, but I do think Mosaic will beat out their future earnings projections. Then we got their price to book ratio, currently sitting at 1.6. We as value investors want to look anywhere between 1 and 3. And because of this, it shows that the stock price is trading a lower price relative to the value of the company's assets. So when a company is trading anywhere between 1 and 3, this just means that fair value, when you look at their actual books and then look at numbers, their price to book should actually be very fair valued at 1.6. Even when you compare it to other sectors like chemicals and the overall US at 2.6 and 2.2, it is under that as well. Now, although their future growth projections are declining of 16.2%, I believe their stock will do well because this article by Telegraph actually states that some of these factors include China shutting down the export of phosphorus, which is used in mixing fertilizers. And we also have Russia. They're stopping the export of potash, another main fertilizer ingredient. And I think due to Mosaic having a huge market sector in phosphorus while also having good fundamentals will eventually lead to a very high valuation in the future. The reason why China is shutting down and the reason why this is such a big impact is because they currently produce 90 million roughly MT or tons of phosphorus every year in terms of exportation. This is actually nearly 3 times as much as the second highest country or sector of Morocco and Western Sahara. When we look back at this article, we see that Huffman actually states that prices of the main 4 fertilizer products have risen 186% to 310% over the last year. This translates to roughly $300 range for fertilizer alone, compared with $120 acre per year. Now, while this is not good for farmers, this means that farmers are more likely to seek out US-based companies, and Mosaic, for example, will do likely very well in the near future. I do believe that Mosaic is a high-risk stock due to their future growth projections being on the decline, and this is really typically not a good sign. But based off their current fundamentals and the current numbers, I do believe that now would be a good time to entry. Also based off the fact that they're coming off a bullish cup and handle pattern seen on the technical chart. And a bullish cup and handle is essentially where a stock meets the same price point that they did at an all-time high, and they actually push past it. And when we look at their technical chart on TradingView, we actually see that their day chart, their week chart, and their month chart do not change at all. These are all extremely strong buys, and I would say that Mosaic will probably run for a little bit of time now, as long as they get really solid volume. The thing is, if Mosaic doesn't get enough volume, they may come back down to earth around like $35, $30 a share. But from a short-term standpoint, in the next 3-6 months, I do think Mosaic will do relatively well because China will be stopping exportations at least through the first 6 months of 2022. But yeah, guys, that's basically all I have. I know this was a little bit of a quicker one, but if you guys want a full technical setup on stock analysis for the future, let me know in the comments below. And just make sure you tell someone that you love them. And peace.